Hello everyone. On World Tobacco Day, we thought that it's a good idea to talk about what eating tobacco, smoking tobacco does to you, to your body and to the environment. Joining me here today is Dr Mukul Bajpai and Dr Anjali Giri. Thank you so much for being here. Dr Mukul Bajpai is a specialist doctor working in tertiary care in a hospital in Chandigarh. Dr Anjali Giri is a major who's taken retirement. She's a veteran from the army and she looks like this because she eats products from Lucknow Farmers Market. She's an alumnus of St. M.R. Jaipuria School and then DPS Arpipuram in Delhi, and she's done her MBBS from ERA Lucknow Medical College and Ram Manohar Lohia University, and then she was commissioned into the Army Medical Corps in 2016 at Command Hospital Central Command, and she's a GOC-IMC Medal Commendation winner of 2017, and in 2021 she has joined us in civil society to serve. So thank you so much, doctors, for being here. Please tell us something about Shram, the group all of us are also part of, and the objectives.
At the outset, I would first like to thank you so much for giving us this platform where we can elaborate on the topic that we have been taking responsibility of educating people about and trying to bring those little changes that are really required in the society right now. Shram is a decade-old organization, and I have followed footsteps of Dr. Mukul here, and I have joined Shram only in 2017.
So we basically started Shram in 2010. At that time it was called NUB. We continued for 6, 7, 8 years with the NUB. Then we reorganized it and named it Shram with a very specific objectives. And now basically we deal in 4 main objectives. The first being our major objective, anti-tobacco, tobacco control in India and abroad. Second is afforestation program and conservation of forest. Third is spurious liquor. And fourth is obviously the most important problem of single-use plastic. So these are the basically 3-4 fields we work in. And we also intend to work for the financial literacy programs of martyr families of armed forces of India. These are our basic objectives.
Wonderful. And particularly today on Anti-Tobacco Day, when everybody at least starts getting aware, I hope everyone's talking about tobacco usage and the harm. Why did you choose anti-tobacco as?
Basically, Jyotsna, you know, tobacco is one of the major killers in the world. If I just give you basic statistics, every year around 80 lakh people, they die from tobacco, direct consequences of tobacco. And 10 lakh people, they die even without inhaling or eating a single tobacco product just by being just by being a passive smoker. Yes. So no other disease can kill so much. It is said that tobacco kills one of its 5 clients. So if you see in last 2 years, the official figures of COVID deaths is only 5.2 lakhs, while tobacco can kill every year in India 13.5 lakh people. That is double the amount of COVID deaths in every year.
That's true. And you know, we all talk about how many people died of COVID. I wish we would take it up, how many people die of tobacco. And it's not just adults. Now we just had an awareness session in our village, Sevenpur in district Barabanki. Even children are eating tobacco and pan masala. And I find it really upsetting that well-known people and actors make money from actually advertising these brands. So I think we've all got to stand up and we've got to take a stand and say that just ban tobacco, and we should also, hold people responsible who are actually advertising tobacco products.
Yeah, I agree, Joe. So this is not done. On one hand, government of India is doing so much by making such stringent laws. On the other hand, you see the best actors, the most influential
all over
people.
the world now, people know how harmful tobacco is. Yeah. And look at the images. I mean, the images on tobacco boxes and products are scary now. Yeah. And then we have people who actually are making money from promoting these products. Yeah. So, talk to us about your journey in anti-tobacco and what your aims are.
basically we started from the inception. We are working in anti-tobacco, but we started gathering steam in anti-tobacco around 2017-18. At that time, we both were collecting data on e-cigarettes, and we were planning to write a scientific paper on e-cigarettes. But while collecting that data, we realized it is a humongous problem, and we realized that e-cigarettes are planning to come to India. And if they actually came to India, it would be very difficult for us, because these billion corporates, we had absolutely nothing against them. We have no way of defending our markets from e-cigarettes or from companies like Zool, Philip Morris. It was so difficult. At that time, we reorganized ourselves and we started a campaign against e-cigarette. Unfortunately, in 2019, government actually banned e-cigarette. So that is something very nice.
Yes, and you know, it's something that's so scary that we thought that because of the ban of tobacco in public places and smoking, the ban of smoking in public places, the ban of smoking in restaurants and bars, that would actually prevent people from smoking. And now you've got teenagers who can actually buy e-cigarettes, and for them it's something that's stylish and fun to try out.
Yeah, you know, the biggest problem with e-cigarettes is they can come in any form. They come like pen drives,
Yes.
they come like...
And
they-
the smell is also something
Yeah.
that can be masked because it smells like...
They have aromas and they
yes,
have
they have
flavors
perfumes
which
and
are more
flavors.
alluring to these teenage groups.
They come in chocolate flavor,
Yes.
vanilla flavor. How do you tell, how do you stop a child if you can't even detect that he or she is smoking in bathroom? There is
Yes.
no smell, and she's inhaling a e-cigarette which is giving her vanilla flavor.
So that's what we've got to appeal to everybody around us, that, you know, I mean, surely there's better ways of making money than creating these products.
Yeah.
There's so many other products that we can create, market and promote. So any kind of tobacco, be it tobacco that's eaten, smoked, or e-cigarettes, it's something that we've all got to realize is taboo. So what about the outcome of what happened with e-cigarettes in India?
No,
Tell me more
that-
about that. You said that it's been banned, but how come people can still buy them?
It is not really available now. Wherever it is available, it is illegal. In 2019, government came up with a comprehensive ban on sale, distribution of cigarette, and since then it is completely banned. Though there is a Vapors Association of India which is vehemently opposing this decision, but it is now completely banned, and we have to thank government. Like Dr. Harshvardhan once said, that if you fall from 10th floor or you fall from 5th floor, the consequence will be the same.
Yes.
And most of these companies, they're trying to promote e-cigarettes as harm reduction products.
Yes, but that's
That is,
you're actually helping younger children probably smoke
yeah.
because it's like a chewing gum or something, you know, that's fun for them to try because the taste is masked.
And on Google, if you see, they might be saying it that it has lesser effect as compared to cigarettes, but then that level of addiction is something which grows slowly itself. So once it's growing slowly, once you start vaping, then it comes to proper cigarettes and proper tobacco, and harms are the same.
Exactly.
And then it also is a stepping stone. If you realize that cigarettes are the first addiction that comes, and then people move to marijuana, people move to recreational drugs. So if we can prevent tobacco from entering
Yes.
the life of children, then we can prevent so many other.
That's right. So talk to me about the problems that you faced with your campaign on e-cigarettes and how it progressed.
Oh yeah, that is interesting. That time we both were working, and I should mention here also, there was one RPRO, public relations officer, Shilpi Bhattacharya. She was also she also worked very hard. She used to edit so many letters and everything. We both, and many others like Dr. Rigvardhan with us, Dr. Anjali Nani from, we used to make letters, we used to send letters to government officials, and at times it was so difficult. I used to write letters, at times she would write letters, she would go and dispatch them herself to just get a receipt, because whenever you mail them,
Yes.
it would never,
Response was never
it was,
there.
yeah, but it was interesting. Finally government agreed, and
But do you think that the government is doing enough to curb the menace of tobacco in India? Which country do you think is the one that's really somebody for us to hold up as an example?
See, right now India is doing actually the best in curbing tobacco. The policies are very stringent in our country.
But how's that?
But
Look
given
at the advertising. Shouldn't all these billboard advertisements of chewable tobacco be banned?
that's where we come and talk about these. See, we when we are referring to tobacco, we are thinking or talking about the smoking, or we are talking about the cigarettes. We are not seeing the bigger harm, which is the smokeless tobacco. Rajnigandha, Pan Masala, Zarda. This is something government has not or is yet to focus upon. Government has made all its norms. If you see cigarette packets, all those images are there and those warnings are there, but then they are only on the cigarettes. They are not on the smokeless tobaccos.
And you know, it is a smokeless tobacco is a humongous problem. Now the problem is ki if you see, uh, take the statistics and take the total, cigarettes are sold only 49 lakh kgs every year, tobacco in cigarettes, while the other tobacco products, including smokeless tobacco, is 559 lakh kgs. That
In
means
India or?
in India only. This is the statistics of India. So if you see, the smokeless tobacco is 10 times.
And we see, particularly in UP, every person, and we saw in the village, children eat
Yes.
this.
If you see now, children from 7th class, 8th class have started picking up this Kenny, Zarda, Pan Masala, Gudka. And why not? Our actors are every day on
That's
TV
the problem. When we have
showing us
actors
Vimal, Pan
who
Masala.
tell
and-
people on the radio and on TV that this is something that we should be eating, and this is something that makes you, I don't know, it's classy or some, you know, I mean, we've had Bollywood actors who promoted it, but fortunately, they actually took down that ad when they realized. So I think our actors have got to follow that, and I think it's something really important. We've got to realize the damage that we're doing to our people's health all over India with this.
And you see, the worst is they say Bolo Zuba Kesri, while trying to mention that the tongue really
The
gets
tongue
red.
is supposed to be red.
with-
That's disgusting. It smells awful. It looks awful. They spit everywhere.
And your teeth, they slowly decay and they become
Yes.
totally black, and there's so many health
Of
consequences. You know, smokeless tobacco is responsible for the 90% of the cancers of oral cavity. It is not the cigarettes. But the problem is, somehow our government is mostly focused on
Smoking.
smoking.
Well, internationally, you see,
Internationally, yes.
internationally, the focus is on
Smoking.
Smoking.
While in our country, the
Yes.
problem of smokeless tobacco is
It's
far
much
bigger.
higher.
Much
Yes.
higher.
And it's there, I'm sure, in some other places, but it's
Yeah.
particularly in India. Now, what about India being a signatory in FCTC? What is that, and how does it hold us accountable?
So that is very nice. We are a signatory of Framework Convention Tobacco Control. It is an international health treaty in which there are 181 signatories all over the world, and it holds us accountable and it increases our resolve. It is a very good treaty. But again, like I'm telling you, the small problem with FCTC is, since it is a Western treaty, and in West the problem of smokeless tobacco is minuscule. So the whole focus that FCTC throws, it is on the smoking. It is not on smokeless tobacco. So in a way it is very good, it holds us accountable, it pushes us to do right thing. But at times because of FCTC we lack in certain areas, especially in the smokeless tobacco.
So we need a lot of organizations in India, citizens and people to actually raise their voices, which I hope everybody is going to be doing today. And it shouldn't happen just today. It needs to actually happen every day.
Yeah.
So what are the challenges that we as a country face in this anti-tobacco campaign and program?
If you see right now, the major challenges that government of India faces is, the biggest problem is smokeless tobacco. Secondly, then there is a very big problem of contraband cigarettes which is coming to India. Third is the problem of counterfeit cigarettes. And fourth is obviously the taxation reform which is required on tobacco industry. That is really required.
So they need to be priced higher so that it cuts off. Now why is...
I won't say price higher, I would say uniform taxation is required. Like if the amount of tobacco which goes inside a cigarette is taxed far more higher than the same amount of tobacco which goes in Zarda and Pan Masala.
Because that's sold on every street corner and that's very cheap and it's affordable to everyone. So I wonder who's making money on that, and why is it that we can't ban that. So
Yes.
that's something that all of us have to ask as responsible citizens. We need to talk about banning that gudka, that Rajnigandha, that Zarda, and the people who say Zuban Kesri. So talk about, do you want to talk about smokeless tobacco particularly, or the contraband cigarettes, which is the...
So here we have got these, just to explain the difference between the cigarettes and the contraband cigarettes. This is what Government of India is actually allowing for advertising, rather I would say, that when you are buying this, you are getting a big warning which says tobacco causes painful death, and that is the main thing. It's not just the mortality, but the morbidity, the kind of diseases people go through and the pain which they go through. It's clearly written with a horrifying image that one, at least this prevents new users from getting addicted to it. Old users might, get away with it, but
Gudka packet.
Yeah. If we can get, I can show you.
We get
See,
gudka packet.
look now, this packet, it falls under the preview of CODPA, Cigarette and Other Tobacco Products Act, and it abides by that CODPA law, which is the most stringent in the world. Now you see, if you see this packet, 85% on both sides is a clear-cut warning with a grotesque image. While this is a contraband cigarette.
This is not. This is
illegal.
imported.
This is illegal. This is illegal contraband cigarette. This does not abide by any CODPA laws. This doesn't come under the preview of CODPA law. And if you see, there is hardly no warning. Rather, it only says the tasty American tobacco, and very small warning. It says tobacco is injurious to health.
But however, I have seen even in the US and in UK, cigarettes that are sold within the country, they also have warnings. They
have
they're
warning,
not
but
so beautifully packaged. And
yeah, but
this is basically
the
a
warnings are
contraband.
never as clear as an Indian market they are supposed to have. So this is one big problem, that the contrabands have started coming to Indian market, and all these are smuggled cigarettes. Basically, what has happened, as we have raised a lot of I would say tax on cigarettes, their costs have gone up. So it has created a space for these smuggled cigarettes. They come from Taiwan, they come from Korea, they come from America, and we have also written to customs lots and lots of time. But this is one big problem. Government of India loses 30,000 crores every year in taxes just because of contraband cigarettes.
And what can be done to curb the menace of contraband, and what have you as an organization done?
Our policy is very simple. For contraband, we have written to police commissioners, we have written to health secretaries, we have written to health ministers. And the biggest problem, if you see that this difference, that this is an illegal cigarette, it does not even the police people doesn't know it. So we intend to create awareness programs that what is right and what is wrong. And we intend to even create workshop for police people, for law enforcement agencies to understand this difference, that contrabands are all illegal and 110% smuggled cigarettes which come from outside, and they completely dilute the tobacco control objectives of India.
Now tell me, why can't tobacco just simply be banned? Why all these curbs and
because there are farmers who are actually growing tobaccos, and government is also getting a good amount of tax from this.
Basically, this is a utopian idea of banning tobacco. If you see, that ban doesn't work. If you ban a product like this, which is so widespread, it will just go underground. It will just go underground. A black market will be created, and you can see the example of Bhutan. Bhutan comprehensively banned tobacco completely in 2010. But what happened? In 2019, the data shows that 15% of the youth, less than 15 years, are addicted to tobacco. Finally, they are lifting the ban because they realized now they can't even regulate the cigarettes, they can't even regulate the smokeless tobacco. And so banning, I would say...
Is there any country that you can say is really the model for us to look up to, where they've been able to regulate?
If you see Singapore,
tobacco,
they have a very, very high tax on tobacco. And their law enforcement agencies are so strong that they don't allow any illegal tobacco from entry. We have even we have very good laws, anti-tobacco laws, but the problem is it is such a big field and enforcement agencies are not able to handle this situation.
Children and telling them, because children do not listen to what you say. They listen or they hear, they see you and then they do things. So first of all, the adults need to be more responsible. If if they're doing it, they have to stop themselves from doing it before they're telling their kids not to do it.
Yes, because they follow by examples. We have to lead by example.
Examples in the village that we went to today. The village that we went to today, most of the kids are chewing tobacco because someone in their family is doing it, and they are seeing it on a daily basis as a very normal thing, because the person will get up in the morning, he'll chew 2 packets, and in the afternoon, and this continues throughout the day. So that has to stop, first of all. Secondly, we need to, and that government is already doing that, from all the schools, there is within 100 yards you cannot have such shops which are selling.
Yeah.
But
I'm
then
sorry,
this is
that's
not
not being
exactly applied.
We see pan masala shops right outside school
Yeah.
gates.
So this
Making
needs
laws-
Right outside hospitals, right outside school gates.
Yeah.
So it's, I think, the
Making law
our
is easy.
responsibility.
Making law is easy.
Yes.
Enforcing the law is the most
As a
difficult thing.
community, we've got to file a complaint, we've got to file an RTI, we've got to go to the local DM and
Yeah.
complain. See, as an organization, as Shram, as we creating awareness, as Lucknow Farmers Market, that's a different thing, but each of you can make a difference.
Yeah.
Make sure that those pan masala shops outside schools, outside hospitals, outside colleges, get them removed.
And also in our curriculum also, I think we are not making the children aware, because we are thinking it's a evil of the society, but then they need to see the evil of the society as well. So teachers should come up at least once a month. Such awareness programs should be held in schools with all the details of the ill effects that it has, so that they can go to their parents and
Yes.
stop them from
Because
doing
it's
this.
like taboo.
It's
In
a taboo.
schools, I really don't think people talk about it.
Yeah.
So, what's the message that you would like to tell people? What's the one message on Tobacco Day?
I would only like to say that it is not possible just by the government agencies or organizations like us that we can actually stop it. If we really want to do it, we require community participation. We require your participation. If all of you are not in this together, then it is impossible to solve this problem.
Absolutely. So, we are all in it together, and it actually stops with each one of us. Each one of us can firstly make sure people around us don't smoke and don't chew tobacco. Each one of us can make sure that tobacco shops, pan masala shops are removed from your neighborhood. And it's a question of livelihood. There's always an alternate livelihood that can be provided. You know, selling of vegetables or fruits, any other vendor
Yeah.
shops, there needs to be a community participation to make sure that these pan masala people are rehabilitated and do something else.
Yeah.
I think that's the really simple first step. So let's all do that. Thank you so much, Dr. Mukul and Dr. Anjali, for being here with us today.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.